Interesting news today coming from Apple and Google. They have banned the NHS Covid-19 tracing app update. Today is April 12th, 2021, and that means lockdown restrictions, some of them, will be lifted in England. And there was a proposed update to the app that has been used for a long time now to log your venue details. So we'll discuss this, but the way this app works is you will scan a QR code and you would tell, for example, that you have been to this specific coffee shop. And if there has been any cases confirmed in that coffee shop, they would notify you to tell you what relevant procedures should be made. Book a test, blah, blah, blah. So this app was supposed to be updated with the updated rules with regards to restrictions or the easing of these restrictions. So the plan was that this app, both on Android and iPhone, would track locations of people, and if you get a positive case, it would basically flag everywhere you've been, as in, let's say the past 10 days, where have you visited, to check if there have been people there, to notify them if they felt ill or that they should maybe take a test, even if they don't feel ill, to eliminate the risks of the pandemic. You get the idea. But why has it been banned by Google and Apple? And the reason is prior to this, the app, and still because the update have been banned, the app works in an opt-in basis. So you would opt in to check in into venues, and then the location data would be stored on your device. And only when the venue itself sends an alert that there has been a case confirmed, for example, in the workers or in the vicinity, then you would be notified. So your location data would not be shared with them. It's their health status, I guess, would be sent to you, and the local data stored on your device would say, oh, you have been to this specific coffee shop, then maybe you should be warned. But this update would do the reverse. It would take your location data and then share it with everyone else for them to know where are the COVID hotspots. So listening to me, you might be thinking, because I thought, well, this is a good thing and it's an exceptional time. So why is it banned? It's banned because that is a very difficult precedent to set when you're talking about location and tracking and privacy. And both Google and Apple has rejected that claim because it's an exceptional time, let's trace users. Because it could be an instance where in the future some other entity or some other political power comes in and demands that these two companies do the same for other reasons. And it's a really tricky situation to be in the future if they can reference this time to be, oh, you did it back then, now we also call this an emergency, so let's track iPhone users. This is where the problem begins. And then the other side, of course, is now, even in emergencies, these big tech companies are dictating their rules to essentially governments. The Department of Health of England tried to develop their own app, and that did not go to plan, so they decided to work with Google and Apple in their own technology with regards to the contact tracing. It's an interesting read in this article by the BBC. Apparently, when you have an emergency, you have to be considerate with regards to the now and how it affects the future, especially with economy and in this case, technology and privacy. The second story is a very cool one, and I should, if you are an iPhone user, I think you should try it out. I did try it out myself. So Samsung apparently developed an app, or they have developed a thing, I don't know what to call it, you'll get to it in a minute, a website for iPhone users to get a little taste of Samsung. So Samsung developed this app that It's basically a web app that you can launch on Safari to explore how an Android phone would look like. I have never used an Android phone as my personal device, and it was a really strange feeling to have my device turn suddenly into Android. So the website is called www.itest.nz, and the .nz stands for New Zealand. And there's speculation on this article by The Verge that it seems to be Samsung New Zealand have developed this website. So when you go to this website, your whole phone turns into temporarily an Android phone with the notification sounds, and there are some Easter eggs. So if you have an iPhone, go to this website, try it out. It's really funny. It makes all the Android noises, and it looks really clean, to be honest. And I wouldn't mind using a high-end Samsung device if it was cheap or accessible. I'm sure it's a great thing. If you are on Android and you go on this website, I think it will tell you that you're already on Android, so there's nothing for you to do. And if you go onto this website on a PC, it would give you a QR code that you can scan on your iPhone to go to this website. So it doesn't really have any, let's say, features. You cannot use any functionality. The apps there are dummies, and they have some inside jokes, like your messages, you'll be notified with a random message. But it's a really clever marketing strategy, and it definitely got my attention. And it's something spontaneous, creative that gets to me, and I really enjoy when companies do this unique marketing strategy where you see a very creative way of targeting iPhone users to switch to Samsung devices. And you should definitely try it out. It's really made my day. It's really fun. And you can see some of the weird examples of the random text you'd get if you use this website. So go check it out. So the next story is about Microsoft buying yet another company. 2 weeks ago, I made a video about Microsoft wanting to buy Discord. And this is supposedly all but confirmed. Microsoft is going to buy Nuance for $19.6 billion. So what the hell is Nuance? I had no idea what it is, but I was familiar with the name. Why? Because this company developed Siri, or developed what became Siri in the future. They are a communication company that develop very complex artificial intelligence speech recognition software, and Microsoft are buying them to dive into the health world, and it's going to be the biggest acquisition since Microsoft bought LinkedIn. For me, I see this as interesting because when you go to a hospital, they have devices, they have very complicated machines, and the technology there basically is the first places where you think how to serve mankind is health. And we've never really seen speech recognition as part of it. And because of the pandemic and maybe remote doctors you would call in, and one of the things that is cited by this article on Bloomberg, that it might be incorporated into Teams where you just call a doctor and explain what you're feeling, and the algorithm would pick up key aspects that were stressed and then would automatically aid the doctor in diagnosing what is wrong and helping the patient feel better. And it's a very, very big dive into the medicine world and speech and communication and artificial intelligence, because Nuance is really focused on the medical aspect of artificial intelligence. And wow, imagine basically your speech pattern, the way you talk about what you experience as an illness, can be used to be in part of your records, saying that you felt this, you felt this. It can be a very measurable thing, and it might help the health sector even more. But Microsoft obviously are doing this for a business-centric reason, maybe in addition to helping humanity, but they are a business after all, and they are going to compete with Google, who have been investing in Fitbit, and also artificial intelligence, and also competing with Amazon to provide these services to hospitals, maybe private and public hospitals. So we'll see what happens to Nuance Communication, who are going to stay independent, but they are going to be acquired by Microsoft. So one final story of the day is Elon Musk's company, Neuralink. They showed off a monkey playing video games with his brain, or her brain, its brain. So this is a video of a monkey playing an arcade game, a very basic one. You might see the monkey playing with a controller, but the controller is not connected to anything. He was just trained to play the game normally, and then the thing was disconnected, and there is an implant in his brain that basically acts as a controller. So he's controlling the controls of the game using his brain. And wow, what can I say? These things are incredible. The mind communicates using electrical signals, and apparently Neuralink is capable of deciphering and decoding these electrical signals to understand when the brain of the monkey sends a command to the hand to move up or down without really needing a hand to be moved up or down. So what is this for, and what does this achieve aside from being cool to watch? What this is saying is, imagine a person who is less fortunate, who doesn't have the same mobility with regards to hands, using something simple like a smartphone. If you don't have the ability to use your phone with your hands, maybe you can use your phone with your brain. So this is the idea of it. Maybe we can develop a smartphone, a way that you can interact with your smartphone with your brain instead of with your hands and fingers and speech. So brain telepathy thing. The other point of this is, if they can understand when the brain is sending a signal to the hand and arm and leg, maybe you are going to be able to help people who couldn't walk before walk again, because you would have an aided device that understands, oh, the brain is sending a signal now to move the leg. Maybe there's a support system or a prosthetic leg or a fully functioning mechanical leg that can be used as good as the normal leg. So this chip is embedded within the skull or right next to the skull, and it's charged wirelessly. I don't know how you charge it. Do you put your head on a wireless charger? I have no idea, but from the outside it would look absolutely normal according to Elon Musk's tweets. And one more thing that they aim to do is collecting a large amount of data to understand the brain and maybe even fix diseases like Alzheimer's and other dementia-related brain diseases. And this is really, really cool. Neuralink is a company that is really interesting, but when you think about how humans will be incorporated with machines, you start thinking, when does the machine take over at this point? I mean, it's something that is certainly a part of the conversation, but it's a step towards a more inclusive world. If we can help people who cannot walk, and can help people to use smartphones, why don't we? And with that said, that's the end of it. I hope the video is short enough. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and see you in another video. Bye.